ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಗಂಗಾಧರ್ ಬಂದು ನನ್ನ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನನ್ನ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ
ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ
यहाँ पे फ्लिप
ನಂದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಇಡಿ ಅಂತ ಏನಿದೆ. So, Ballari's Veerashaiva Vidyavartaka Sanghas, Srimati ASM College for Women, Department of PG Studies in Commerce, presents one-day national level webinar on entrepreneurship, a new mantra to economic prosperity. So, I, on behalf of the PG Department of Studies in Commerce and on behalf of the college, very warm welcome to all the participants, delegates, research scholars, and students, and all the target audience who have joined for the day's webinar. So today's program is going to start, already started by 10 o'clock. So sorry for being late by 5 to 10 minutes. So the webinar is available on Zoom app and as well as on YouTube live. So let us begin the day's program with a welcome speech. Now I request Professor Khaja Moinuddin of Department of PG Studies in Commerce to extend a very warm welcome to all the audience for the day's webinar. So over to Khaja Moinuddin.
Good morning to all the dignitaries, resource persons, guests, delegates, and students. I am immensely happy to extend my very warm welcome to all who are present and witness for the day's national level webinar on entrepreneurship, a new mantra of economic prosperity, organized by the Department of Postgraduate Studies in Commerce under the IQAC banner. At the outset, I extend hearty welcome to our chairperson of college governing body, Srimati Angadi Shashikala Madam, for her presence and support in undertaking curricular activities. On behalf of the organizing committee, I heartily welcome you, ma'am. I extend very warm welcome to our beloved principal, Dr. S.Y. Timmareddy sir, who is constant source of inspiration in conduct of such academic events in the college. Hearty welcome you, sir. Indeed, I am delighted to extend a very welcome to the key persons of the day's webinar, none other than our resource persons, Dr. Safia Parveen Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, Central University of Karnataka, Kalaburgi, and Dr. Janet Jyoti D'Souza, Associate Professor, Department of Management Studies, Ballari Institute of Technology and Management, Bellary. In fact, with their busy schedule, even during this pandemic situation, our resource person have kind enough to accept our request and very much with us to share their vast experience and knowledge. On behalf of the organizing committee and on my own, I extend warm welcome to you all. I would like to welcome our motivator, an active and versatile personality, our beloved coordinator, Dr. Gavisiddhappa Gadak sir, and all my department colleagues who have worked in different capacities in organizing this webinar. Finally, from the bottom of my heart, I welcome all the participants, delegates, students, teachers, research scholars from different parts of the nation for your presence and active participation in today's webinar. I warm welcome you all. I thank one and all for giving me an opportunity to render a welcome speech. Thank you, one and all.
Good morning to one and all. I deem I as a unique privilege to speak about the day's webinar on entrepreneurship, a new mantra of economic prosperity. As you all know that Srimati Allam Sumangalama Memorial College for Women was established way back in the year 1969. Under the auspices of Ballari's Veerashaiva Vidyavartaka Sangha, is one of the premier institutions in importing higher education to exclusively women of this Hyderabad Karnataka region. Since its inception, the institution has grown up by leaps and bounds, though the Department of Commerce was started immediately after the establishment, but the Department of the PG Studies Commerce providing M.Com course was started. In the year 2014, being affiliated to Karnataka State Akkamadevi Women University, Vijayapura. Since then, the department has been providing a platform for the women to undergo the course and acquire both theoretical and practical knowledge, leading to the award of postgraduate degree in commerce. As a part of the curriculum, the department conducts seminars, conferences, quizzes, marketing fairs, etc. at regular intervals. Since the lockdown due to COVID-19, online mode is being adopted as a way of learning to enhance the knowledge horizon. Today's webinar is being organized on the topic of entrepreneurship, a new mantra of economic prosperity. Hence, I feel that the increasing presence of women as entrepreneurs has led to the change in the demographic characteristics of business and economic growth of the country. Women-owned business enterprises are playing a prominent role in society, inspiring others and generating more employment opportunities. Keeping this in mind, the present webinar has been organized where two prominent women engaged in a teaching profession are admitted us to the deliberate on the topic. This will certainly help potential entrepreneurs and students delegates to understand new vistas of women entrepreneurship. On behalf of the organizers, I hope that the webinar will certainly benefit the target audience. Thank you, one and all.
Respected Principal, distinguished resource persons, organizing secretary, faculties of Department of PG Studies in Commerce, participants from across the nation, staff and students. I feel it is a great pleasure to once this highly informative national webinar on entrepreneurship, a new mantra of economic prosperity, organized by the Department of PG Studies in Commerce in associations with IQ. Since beginning of my term, I have found all the departments indeed very active in involving the learners in one or another academic activities. I hope in that organizing webinar, conference, seminars, talents day, national festivals, business fest and another academic activities result in the first-hand knowledge for all the participants and also evaluates the reputations of our college. Such events also help in gaining and practical knowledge on various aspects of academics. I express my sincere admirations for the Department of PG Studies in Commerce for organizing these creative events. At the same time, I assure that I extend my full support to all the departments for organizing such beneficial events. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for having with us. And
Okay. 1 second. Good morning to all. Esteemed Chairperson, Srimati Angadi Shashikala Madam, distinguished resource persons, Dr. Sophia Farwin, Assistant Professor of Business Studies, Central University of Karnataka, Kalburgi, Dr. Janet Jyoti D'Souza, Associate Professor of Business Management, Bellary, Institute of Management, Bellary, Organizing Secretary, Dr. Gausidappa Gadag, IQAC Coordinator, Faculty of Department of PG Studies in Commerce, participants from across the country. Good morning to all. It gives me a great pleasure to share a bit of information about my college on this auspicious occasion of National Webinar on Entrepreneurship and New Mantra of Economic Prosperity. Bellary VV Sanghas, Srimati Allam Sumangalam Memorial College for Women was started in 1969 in Bellary with the main aim of providing education and empowering the women and has been providing quality education in Hyderabad, Karnataka. PG studies in commerce started in 2014-15 academic year for the purpose of providing higher education to women in this region. Our college provide a good infrastructure facilities to the learners. Our college successfully completed 51 years. We are going to celebrate Golden Jubilee function this academic year. It is a privilege on my part to deliver a keynote address for the National Webinar on Entrepreneurship, a new mantra of economic prosperity. The concept of entrepreneurship is complex phenomenon. It relates to the entrepreneur, his vision and implementations. Entrepreneurship is a purposeful activities of an individual or group of associated individuals undertaken to initiate, maintain, or organize profit by production or distribution of economic goods and services. Entrepreneurship is composite skill, the resultant of a mix of many qualities and traits. These includes imagination, readiness to take risk, ability to bring together and put to use other factors of productions like land, labor, capital, and also intangible factors such as the ability to mobilize scientific and technological advance. Entrepreneurship is a quality of the entrepreneur. In the modern society, women entrepreneurs occupy significant position in economic development of the country. Women constitute around half of the world population. So is in India also. They are therefore regarded as better off of the society. In traditional societies, they were confined to the four walls of houses performing household activities. In modern society, they have come out of the four walls and participate in all sorts of activities. The global evidence buttress that women have been performing exceedingly well in different sphere of activities, take academic, politics, administration, social work, and so on. Now they have playing into industry also and running their enterprises successfully. In this webinar, Dr. Sophia Farwin discussed the role, responsibility, problems, and prospect of informal entrepreneurs. And Dr. Janet Jyoti D'Souza may discuss the problems of unemployment and entrepreneurship in a major approach in solving unemployment. Resource persons so present the burning topic, that is entrepreneurship, a new mantra of economic prosperity. Economic prosperity of the country depends upon the functions of the entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are absolutely an independent individual or group who shoulders the responsibility of managing in business organization and catering the needs of the society and ultimately becomes a part of economic progress of the nation. And entrepreneurship is not a child play. Instead, it is a tough task comprised of multiple risks and responsibility, which he should invariably accept in order to enjoy this success. It is indeed very much true that entrepreneurship hikes the economic prosperity by all means. Today's resource person, so Dr. Sophia Parvin and Dr. Janet Jyoti D'Souza have to share their relevant and profound knowledge in the national webinar, and also confident that all the participants will be immensely benefited by their precious presentation. I deeply lend the efforts of the Department of PG Studies in Commerce for holding this national webinar on thought-provoking concept. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having presented the keynote address. So thank you very much, sir, for having presented the keynote address on the day's webinar. So where you rightly touched upon the various aspects of the entrepreneurship, particularly with reference to the women entrepreneurs of our country, where they can also contribute their might towards the economic prosperity of the nation. So now it is a turn on our part to introduce the resource persons of the day's webinar. So to begin with, first technical session is in turn going to be taken over by Dr. Sophia Parvin, the Assistant Professor of Management of Central University of Karnataka. So now let me introduce Dr. Sophia Parvin. Okay, good morning to one and all. I deem it a unique opportunity, and as well as also feel proud of myself in introducing my own student being this webinar resource person, Dr. Sophia Parvin. So indeed, it is a pride moment for a teacher like me, having given an opportunity to introduce my own student who has gone to the university to become an assistant professor and presenting the day's webinar deliberations. So Dr. Sophia Parvin was born in the year 1977 in Bellary, had her schooling and as well as PU education in Bellary only. She graduated in commerce in the year 1998 from our own college. So later on joined MBA of PG Center of then Gulbarga University, Gulbarga in Ballari. Now it is in turn being known as Vijayanagara Sri Krishna Devaraya University, Ballari, and successfully completed in the year 2000 with a dual specialization, marketing and as well as finance. She also cleared a national eligibility test being conducted by the UGC New Delhi in the year 2005. And immediately after her MBA graduation, joined this noblest profession as a lecturer and coordinator of the Department of Management Studies, Rao Bahadur Y. Mahabaleshwarappa Engineering College in Ballari, and where she rendered her human service as a teacher and coordinator and looked after the entire departmental activities from 8th of August 2008 to 11th of March 2014. And to quench her thirst for knowledge, she also did her PhD successfully in the year 2015 under the able guidance of the then Special Officer of VSK University, Dr. S. Jayana, on the topic of knowledge management practices in steel industry, a case study of some small units in North Karnataka. And after gaining experience in teaching profession, she got the appointment as an assistant professor of management at Central University of Karnataka, Kalburgi. And since 14th March 2011 till date, she has been working in the department as assistant professor of management at Central University of Karnataka, Kalburgi. And her areas of interest are strategic management, which is her pet subject, knowledge management, where she did her PhD, organizational behavior, total quality management, marketing management, and finally a very delicate issues of Indian ethos and as well as the values. And in fact, she is very much competent in acquiring skills, and it is a pride again for me to say that she secured first rank to the entire Karnataka state in English typewriting and as well as the shorthand. So which is a great achievement at her college level. Since her college days, she has been actively engaged herself and took a lead position in arranging and organizing all the curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular activities of the college and at the university level too. And by the grace of Almighty, she got married and blessed with children, leading a very happy and contented life in Kalburgi. So we are very fortunate to have such a versatile professor, young and energetic versatile professor who happens to be my own student, Dr. Safia Parveen, amidst us, and willing to share her vast experience and knowledge on the topic of the role of informal women entrepreneurs. So without any much delay and loss of time, valuable time, let us listen to the experts' deliberation on this topic. Now over to Dr. Safia Parveen. Thank you one and all.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Very good
I
morning.
hope I am off.
Yes, audible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. In fact, it's really a proud moment for me to get introduced by my own favorite teacher. Right today, whatever I am, I owe it to all my teachers, right from my school days to my college level. And special thanks to Gavi Siddhappa sir, Mallikarjun sir, Jayana sir for making me what I am today. The topic today, what I am going to discuss, the Indian informal women entrepreneurs. It's not something new or unique. This topic is around us. In fact, we live amidst this topic. And I really feel very happy to be presenting to you.
ನಾನು ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ.
Hello.
Please.
Yeah, sir. I think can you mute? Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. The topic what I'm going to discuss today, the Indian informal women entrepreneurs. I was telling this is something not new. This is there amidst us since ages. But right now, our attention is being pulled to this topic in order to learn the important role of informal entrepreneurs around us, and especially with related to the women. Sir, I would be like to share my screen now. Let me just check it out.
Madam, you can share them.
Yeah, I'm just trying out.
Are you not getting, madam?
Just let me 1 minute, sir. Let me try it out.
Oh,
In case if
okay.
I don't get it, I will let you know, sir.
Okay, okay. We are going to share it in case.
Yeah, yeah. Just a minute, sir. Sir, my PPTs are not getting supported. Can you share it for me, sir?
Okay, madam. We are going to share it. No problem.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
madam.
That will be better, sir. Hello. Hello.
Hello, madam.
Hello?
We are going to share it. Just a
Yes.
minute, madam. We
Yes,
are
sir.
going
Yes,
to
sir.
share it.
Yes, sir.
ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಮಾಡು ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡು.
Is it visible, madam, now? Okay.
Sir, I am not seeing, sir. 1 minute, sir. I don't know, some problem.
ಮಾಡಿದ್ ನಾನು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir. Am I audible, sir? Hello?
Yes, it is audible, madam. Once you say next slide, then we will go for next slide, madam.
Sir, yeah, the next slide, sir.
Oh, next slide. Next. Okay.
Okay. Once again, I am just pulling your attention that we are going to talk about the women, the Indian women. Then later on, we will go to the entrepreneurs. One of the most admirable quality of an Indian woman is her capacity to adapt herself to a given situation. Whether it is our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, or grannies, women since ages do have the capacity to adapt themselves and adopt themselves. That in this case, the world celebrates the Indian womanhood for creating a legacy of stability and prosperity, either to a family or to a new establishment. Just as a charmer with a magic wand, she has proved to have converted the hitherto strife-torn events into more harmonious ones. Indian women, in spite of her many entrepreneurial attributes like commitment, dedication, innovativeness, elegance, diligence, she has always been ranked on her beauty, innocence, and physical delicacy. So, the next slide. History is evident that the norms of a patriarchal society set the trend of limiting a woman to her home, puzzling her economic productivity. She herself questions her economic productivity, and Indian women have grown up in the shadow of insecurity, as if the trauma of age-old suppression and the subsequent disgrace and ostracism were not enough. She is still facing uncertainty about her future. The quest for stability and identity became a guiding force in creating an entrepreneur in the women. The next slide, sir. She has very wisely adopted a policy of moderation, balancing herself between her home and workplace instead of professional extremism. On one side, we see the women being professionally successful, and on the other, she never leaves even any leaf unturned to finish her household chores. Women's conversion into entrepreneur is a win-win situation. For women, it is to display her uniqueness, and for the nation to add on economically productive population. Just now we heard our respected principal sir say that women constitute almost 50% of the world population, including India. And if this 50% of the population gets into the economic productivity, then the economic status of a country automatically develops. Despite the fact that India is bestowed with natural and human resources, it is gauged to be a developing country largely due to the absence of women in its economic activities. India today ranks 129 out of 189 countries on the 2019 Human Development Index, highlighting the dimensions of human development, which is based on life expectancy, education, and per capita income. Indian women are the most vulnerable sect owing to their low level of education and high level of unemployment. Entrepreneurship comes as an answer. It is the worldwide over the most trusted organization that can empower people irrespective of gender and qualification. Women entrepreneurs in the higher cadre of society are already creating their niches. But the women in the lower hierarchy of society are still struggling to make a mark, thus igniting the importance of addressing the challenges and prospects of women entrepreneurs in the informal sector of Indian economy. The next slide, sir. The Indian economy follows a mixed economic structure depending the existence of public and private sector. Another perspective of understanding the mixed economic structure is through the joint survival of formal and informal sectors of entrepreneurship. India's informal sector forms the foundation of the economy, employing almost 73% of the workforce who are engaged in providing the life's basic amenities. They are also credited as the outsourcing agents or units in the supply chain for the organized sector. To understand the concept of informal entrepreneur, one has to clarify about the differences in the organized and unorganized sector. A formal or an organized sector forms that part of the economy where the rules of work are regulated. Can you please go to the next slide, sir?
So kindly check, madam. Is it synchronizing?
Yeah, the next slide, sir.
Next one.
Yeah, let us,
Okay.
1 minute, sir.
Kindly check it, madam, whether it
Yes, sir.
synchronizes. Okay.
Yeah,
However,
it is.
however, the private and government, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, before we understand what is the difference between the formal and the informal sector, let us once have a glance at India's population. India is now the youngest country, not in terms of the formation of the state, but in terms of the age of the population. The growing young population who are graduating and post-graduating in huge number every year are unable to get their required jobs. We are on the threshold of facing unemployment. Both the mixed sectors components, the private as well as the government sector, they are not sufficient in generating the required jobs. And so entrepreneurship. So the next slide. In this case, entrepreneurship comes as an answer to provide employment. And entrepreneurship, once again, I repeat, is the only area or the sector where people are able to employ themselves without any basic requirements of age, qualification, or facilities. So, entrepreneurship, not only among the men, but also among the women, has become a vital component for the overall situation. It not only boosts the economy through job creation, but also delivers transformation in social and personal outcomes for women. The next slide, sir. So, entrepreneurship, the worldwide over, is trusted as the only practice that can empower people irrespective of gender and qualification. However, women entrepreneurs in the higher cadre of society are already creating their niches, but the women in the lower hierarchy of society are still struggling to make a mark. And here, the Indian economy forgets the contribution of the women population to the economic growth of this nation. So the next slide. Now, for us to understand the difference between the formal sector and the informal sector, and why is it necessary for us to discuss about the importance and the role of informal sector in making India's economy grow. A formal or an organized sector, as the name indicates, forms that part of the economy where the rules of work are regulated, organizations are licensed, and the income generated are taxed. Opposite to the formal sector is the understanding of the informal or unorganized sector of the economy. The next slide, sir. The workforce is collaborated either in the self-owned or partnership firms, which are neither registered nor licensed by the government, and the revenue generated is not taxed, thus naming the informal sector as a shadow or the hidden economy. The next slide. However, the usefulness of entrepreneurship, either from the formal sector or informal sector, is to contribute to the fulfillment of demands and services of the consumers on one hand and to the growth of the economy on the other. Entrepreneurs are bearers of risk and uncertainty. They are pollinators of resources from low to high productivity and creators of value and opportunities. The best example, what we can quote here, is the Lijjat Papad story from Mahila Udyog Limited, a firm which started by a group of women on the suburban areas of Bombay, which went on to include the other women and become a company worth crores of rupees today. When the government faces hurdles in creating jobs, entrepreneurs emerge as a parallel source to establish firms and generate employment for the major lot of the entire population. The traditional assumption of the informal sector constitutes of only wage workers engaged in low paid employment, but now this view is getting converted as entrepreneurs displaying many a quality of entrepreneurship. So can I go to the next slide? India, however, bifurcates the society on the basis of the job. Gender-based categorization of work predominantly exists in the informal sector. So the next slide. Okay. So the economic survey of 2018 or 19, which was released in the year 2019, says 93% of the total workforce is informal. That itself indicates that we are surrounded by people in the jobs who do not have a designation to be set. And that sector is known as the informal. But the Niti Ayog's strategy for the new India at 75, released in November 2018, said, by some estimates, India's informal sector employs approximately 85% of all workers. Whether the status indicates 93% or 85%, but what we know as a common man is that a huge population works in the informal sector. So the next slide. When we try to bifurcate our societal works based on the genders who carry forward, the males dominate activities relating to automobiles, repair and services, what we know them as garage, construction, where we know them as the mestri workers, electrical repairs, plumbing, carpentry, blacksmithing, watch repairs, photography, milling, meat trading, shoe mending, tannery, to name a few. And the women are also to dominate some of the other entrepreneurial ventures. So the next slide. And most of the females are clearly visible in tailoring, hairdressing, fruits and vegetables, trading, spinning, dyeing, weaving, basket making, artistic handicrafts, and so on. Now, we see a change in the trend. We see a transformation in our society's professional works. Some of the works which were exclusive to the male, today you see some of the women venturing into it. Previously, we used to see only male auto drivers. Today, we see the women auto drivers also, right? Whether it is in the transportation or some of the basic professions which were dominated by men, we see the women entering into these professions as well. But still, the gap between the men and the women entrepreneurs is very huge in our country. The next slide, sir. Women in India, they have always confronted the hypocritical outlook of the society. The ambiguity of perception about women still persists. They are worshipped as incarnation of Shakti on the religious side and denied of their basic rights following the understanding of religion. Pandit Nehru, our first Prime Minister, has rightly expressed that for women's development in a country is the right indicator of its growth. Since independence, Indian government has periodically formulated policies to improve the status and empower the Indian women. Yet, the figures to be still improved are heart-throbbing. The journey of women discrimination starts at the birth of a girl. So the next slide. The 2011 census showed the national female-male ratio of 914 to 1000. That means to say for every 1000 male children, there are only about 914 girls born, as compared to 972 is to 1000 ratio in 1901, highlighting the grave imbalance of sex ratio, which makes up the starting point of the vicious circle of disparity that contains the malnourishment of a girl child, existence of dowry system, and the discrepancies between male and the female literacy. In spite of the increasing number of literates, India still has around 31 crores 30 lakhs illiterates, out of which 18.46 crores are women. Indian women, irrespective of their caste, societal hierarchy, and their geographical location, face similar status quo issue. The next slide. As an attempt to safeguard their gender protocol and make their mark in the nation's economy, women have turned themselves to entrepreneurship by choice, opening up new sectors from conventional businesses like agro products, food processing, handicrafts, to novel ventures like information technology, water harvesting, hospitals and hospitality, real estates, to name few in the formal sector. Women in the informal sector too are depending on the entrepreneurial ventures to protect their homes and to ensure better quality of life. As already said, women constitute nearly 50% of India's population. Their absence from the economic activities labeled them as unproductive population and increased the burden of income generation on the male sect of the society. The next slide, sir. Women were further confined to household works. So can you go to the next slide? Women were further confined to household works that consumed their entire day, and yet they were identified as housewives who did not work. Work here is presumed to be the one that is undertaken to earn a living. Indian society, being patriarchal in nature, did not accept the economic liberation of women. Especially the middle and the other lower classes of society limited the girl child's education on the pretext that it would wipe her ignorance and loosen up the male control over her. She was allowed to qualify herself only to the required extent of understanding the daily routines and tutor her children. This limitation made her unfit for employment, either in government or private sector, leaving her completely at the favor of male relatives. Just as a leaf saves the drowning ant, entrepreneurship came to the rescue of millions of women who had only dreamt of economic empowerment. Entrepreneurship worldwide is sought to be the only source in declining the scale of poverty, irrespective of caste, creed, qualification, and financial constraints. Women in the informal sector too are depending on the entrepreneurial ventures to protect their homes and to ensure better quality of life. So the next slide. Entrepreneurship is a planned economic activity that starts with the intention of an entrepreneur. So can we go to the next slide? Next slide. Next slide, sir. Another one. Next slide, sir.
Okay.
Next slide.
Is it okay, madam?
Yes, sir. Entrepreneurship is a planned economic activity that starts with the intention of an entrepreneur and brings a holistic transformation in the attitudes, perceptions, and confidence of an individual. Indian women are termed to be emotional, empathetic, creative, and committed, which coincidentally are similar to the basic traits of an entrepreneur. Women are embedded with inbuilt capacity to be quick learners, manage with limited resources, and give a finishing touch to their works. Unfortunately, these skills are imprisoned in four walls of a home. Next slide. An awareness of her inner capacity is making her use the talent in producing goods and services that are marketable and competitive. This slide will tell you the factors that will enable women's empowerment, whether it is support from the family, whether it is better education or a better opportunities. So the next slide. Women being very, very innovative, once getting into the economic field, they can add up their innovation to build up their professional capacity. For instance, a beautician may also sell personal care products along with her services of enhancing the fine looks. A tailor may also use embroidery or patchwork designs on the clothes she stitches, creating her own identity of designer wares. Economic freedom leads to the power of decision making. Women, treated as a second gender, had no voice in the family decisions and depended on the choice made for her by her male counterparts. This suppression became another reason to explore her industrial attributes and make use of her resources as a means to the end. Her determination to prove her capacity in multiple roles, both in family and in business, is succeeding her in different ventures. The next slide, sir. Apart from the reasons of transforming her traditional identity, women in the informal sector challenge themselves with entrepreneurial ventures to defeat the age old customs of tying a woman to the threshold of homes, liberate themselves and their children from their alcoholic spouses, and avoid dependence on others after being either divorced or widowed. Women are now creating new horizons of being wealth creators rather than being wealth enjoyers. Their innovativeness is helping them ease the daily course of many other women, whether it is making papad, pickles, and masalas, reaching the many women employees or helping them look and wear beautifully. Women have dug their niches in establishing themselves in the unorganized sector. Entrepreneurship is an answer to the question that originated because of the gap between the products demanded and supplied. It follows the principles of management by objectives, wherein the parties involved are in a profitable situation. First, the entrepreneur who identifies a need and converts it into an economic activity of income generation. Second, the customer who is satisfied in getting a product worth the money. And third, the nation whose revenue increases due to the participation of the unproductive population. Women, in many aspects, are considered to be better entrepreneurs, as goes the belief that the more challenges a person is prone to, the more matured she or he becomes. A woman's life is a fable of survival of the fittest. The women in the unorganized sector face the scarcity of resources and learn to optimize their utilization, which is the primary requirement of an entrepreneur. As they face the constraints of finance, women entrepreneurs masked themselves to be calculated risk takers, questioning the depth of each new venture they plan to take up. Girl children are taught to be dependable on their male relatives since their childhood, never allowing their self confidence to bloom. This timidness to venture alone makes them more cautious, preventing their self confidence from transforming into overconfidence. So, the next slide. Women never enjoyed the liberty to dream, but once she ventures out to make an earning, she aims high and visualizes her business in a long term view. Centuries of subordination and submission have made the women all the more rigid to change the socio-cultural norms of her existence, thus proving her capacity to be better decision makers and better managers of the firms she establishes. Women's ability is all the more boosted when her family stands in support of her professional outlook. The next slide. There are some positive impacts of women entrepreneurs on the entire nation. Women in different parts of the world share a similar tale of woe as for the discrimination is concerned, barring them from equal opportunities, compelling them to multiple responsibilities, restricting their children, restricting their education, limiting their access to knowledge and training, hindering the financial flow, and stopping their technological upgradation have been some of the common obstacles in their growth and development. On providing family and the government support, women entrepreneurs act as catalysts of economic growth and labor productivity.
మెంటలా నాకు వినిపించదు ఊరికే ఉండరా సైలెంట్ గా
Sir, sir, yeah, thank you. Informal women entrepreneurs take up entrepreneurship either to upgrade their family's standard of living or to increase their quality of life, thus making them generate higher rates of return economically and enabling them to lead their life in happiness and contentment. The next slide, sir. In India, since independence, the government has been trying to come out with various schemes to help women, especially in the unorganized sector. I attempt to bring some of the schemes which are helping women to improve their economic status. We have few yojanas like Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Protsahan Yojana, Atal Bimit Vyakti Kalyan Yojana, Gatidhara scheme for self-employment, Stree Shakti packages for women entrepreneurs, Annapurna scheme, and this scheme especially it is offered by the State Bank of Mysore for all those women entrepreneurs who are setting up food catering industry to sell packed meals, snacks, etc. The next slide, sir. Bharatiya Mahila Bank Business Loan. This loan is support system for budding women entrepreneurs looking to start a new venture in the fields of retail sector, loan against property, micro loans, and SME loans. We have schemes called Dina Shakti scheme. This scheme is provided by Dina Bank to those women entrepreneurs in the fields of agriculture, manufacturing, microcredit, retail stores, or small enterprises that are in need of financial assistance. The next slide. Mahila Udyam Nidhi scheme, which is being launched by Punjab National Bank and aims at supporting the women entrepreneurs involved in small scale industries by granting them soft loans that can be repaid over a period of 10 years. And all these loans come up with minimal interest rates in order to help women to boost up their professional capacity. The next slide. Mudra Yojana scheme for women, and this scheme was launched by Government of India for individual women wanting to start small new enterprises and businesses like beauty parlors, tailoring units, tuition centers, etc., as well as a group of women wanting to start a new venture together. The loan doesn't require any collateral security and can be availed as per 3 schemes. The next slide. Shishu, according to this loan scheme, a loan amount is limited to rupees 50,000 and it can be availed by all those businesses that are in their initial stages. The next scheme is Kishore, wherein the loan amount ranges between 50,000 to 5 lakhs and can be availed by all those who have well-established enterprises. The next scheme is called Tarun, wherein a loan amount of rupees 10 lakhs can be sanctioned, and they are all these loans are availed by the businesses that are well established but require further funds for the purpose of expansion. The next slide. The session today, what we just had a discussion about, it is to know the importance of the women entrepreneurs around us. The change in our perspective to look at the people, especially the women businessmen, businesswomen around us who are either selling vegetables to us or who are even beautifying us or stitching our clothes. As educated persons in the society today, it becomes our responsibility to tell these people that these are the schemes that are available, and they all are supposed to get into cooperative societies or self-help groups, just like what we find in the rural areas, to make these people come together and help them to venture out into their new businesses. In a developing country like India, the growth of informal women entrepreneurs is a blessing in disguise. It is the way of providing jobs to those who are not highly qualified. It helps in creating cooperative setup of organizations where the local women folk cooperate to help each other with their skills and abilities. This unorganized sector is also credited in making the local specialities available to the far and wide markets with the help of e-commerce and provide an opportunity to revive dying businesses in the rural areas. Especially in Kalburgi, there are women groups
Madam, please unmute yourself. Madam Sophia, madam. Sophia, madam, please unmute yourself. It's muted. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Did I miss anything more, sir? Hello?
No, madam, you can carry, continue, madam.
Okay. Thank you. So I was just now telling the unorganized sector in Kalburgi is the best example. Especially the women here, they are into the making of rotis, especially the speciality of Kalburgi, whether it is jawar or bajra rotis, wherein they make pack it up in both the dry as well as the soft condition. And these products are carried even by the people flying abroad, where the product can be stored without any refrigeration or medication for almost 2.5 to 3 months. So the local entrepreneurs or the informal sector of entrepreneurs helps the people to get their basic specialities of that region into the e-markets, into the worldwide markets with the help of e-business today. So this study or discussion, what we just had, it is an attempt to highlight the importance of women folk in contributing to the growth of a nation in the form of entrepreneurs. The informal sector is like a maze that has an entry but a confused way out. This sector has neither rules to follow nor disciplines to define. The only methodology is to understand the needs of the environment and match it with the resources of people who dare to call themselves as entrepreneurs. The challenge is all the more when the entrepreneurs in making are women who are discriminated, untrained, unqualified, inexperienced, and victims of male chauvinism. She not only has to break her own nutshell of being contented with household responsibility, but also has to break the socio-cultural barrier of her dependence on her male counterparts. Women who break these shackles make up to only 14% of the Indian women population. The rest are still bonded in the societal stereotypes, being forced to be happy in the family surroundings. Women in the informal sector take up entrepreneurship as a means to a better life. Support to her in the form of access to capital, training to enhance her skills, market approachable strategies, along with family encouragement, will help many more women in the informal sector to either start their career individually or in teams. We, as the postgraduate students, faculty members at the university or in the colleges, it becomes our moral responsibility to make the women surrounding us aware of their skills, of their many skills, and the many opportunities that are open to help them become independent economically. So, participation of women entrepreneurs will not only increase the GDP, but will also evolve perspective change in the identity and outlook of women. And the dream that we see for the new India is to see this informal sector gets organized and becomes a formal one, where every employee of of this unorganized sector will be able to contribute as a taxpayer to the economic growth of the nation. Sir, can we go to the next slide?
Hello, madam. This is a conclusion, madam. Slide.
Yes.
We are
Okay.
displaying conclusion.
Yeah. If you, sir, this is where I complete my presentation. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, sir.
Okay. Let me make it a point to the audience, madam.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam, for your exhaustive coverage of the entire topic of the entrepreneurs, particularly in the informal sector. Few
So
questions.
thank you very much for this opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, few questions were being raised, and
Yes.
Mr. Sanjeev Kumar asking us. So tell some rural women entrepreneurs works and as well as the activities. He wanted to know that what kind of activities are engaged by rural women entrepreneurs.
Sir, attempting to answer your question, I may not be remembering many rural entrepreneurs, but I would really like to speak about a Selco organization. This organization is now taken up as a social responsible enterprise, wherein it is trying to help people in the rural areas to make use of solar energy in the upgrading of the villages around. Right? When you speak about rural entrepreneurship, the Mahila Udyog Limited is one such type of organization where the people from the rural, rural areas of our country are trying to be chipped into in the making of these all the daily household activities like papads, pickles, and all. And when we speak about rural entrepreneurship, we also speak about the self-help group. The self-help group organizations wherein they are trying to bring about collaboration among the individual women, right? Make them into a group and help them to come out with their skills and innovativeness in getting their household products into the markets. Hello.
Okay, thank you, madam. I hope that Sanjeev Kumar is happy with the answer given by the madam. So as she rightly said that particularly with reference to rural folk, the SHGs, self-help groups, are playing a very predominant role in contributing their might to the economic prosperity. So Dr. Usha Patil are of the opinion, she is of the opinion that petrol pump and toll taxes, toll gates were also in turn presently being taken care of by women. So of course they can be included without any doubt. So Gayatri is asking one more question, madam.
Yes, sir.
Does glass ceiling exist in India in 21st century? Particularly with reference to women, glass ceiling, women employees.
Sir, as such now, because when I was speaking about the different schemes where the government is coming forward to help the women in the informal sector, glass ceiling is there. To a certain extent, it is there. But it all depends the way we come out. I mean to say, it is the now and it has become a requirement for we as women to help out the other women. Okay, because I am really sorry to say that I have not gone into the in-depth of this area, because now this is gaining interest for me to go into the in-depth study and go in for more and more research in these areas. So Gayatri madam, I don't think I will be my information will be of much help to you. Okay, I'm sorry for that.
It's okay, no problem. No. It's okay, no problem. That is okay. It is a latest topic being here. Okay, so one more, madam, Mr. Sudhanshu from Orissa wanted to know something more about Kakinada experiment. So, which is an important experiment being conducted in the field of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship development, particularly EDP, Entrepreneurship Development Program, with reference to EDP, Kakinada experiment. If you have any information about Kakinada experiment.
Sir, studied long time back, but I would like to say that similar to Kakinada experiment, there are many EDPs being conducted by the Tata groups, especially the Entrepreneurship Development Institute in Mumbai gives lot of such type of training to the women who really want to bring about a change into their lives. So I am unable to recall now the exact Kakinada experiment because studied it long back.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam. I think Kakinada experiment is a very important experiment being conducted to motivate the rural folk, particularly to emerge as a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So the
And now
need for achievement. Okay, so
in fact, this experiment stands as an example for all other rural entrepreneurs, right? And that is the reason why we will find this Kakinada experiment even in when we study strategic management and entrepreneurship management for the students.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. So the particularly the need for achievement, which is one of the competencies for the entrepreneur, is rightly being triggered by conducting rigorously the training. So that has been taken up in Kakinada area of the Andhra Pradesh so long ago. That stands as a platform for emergence of upcoming entrepreneurs in the economy. So I hope that Sudhanshu is happy with the answer. So, madam, one more question.
Yes,
sir. So, what challenges do female entrepreneurs face? So, this is usually a question to be answered by women only, because you being a woman professor, I hope that I might have understood better the challenges being faced by the entrepreneurs and as well as the teachers, teaching being a profession. So,
sir, I would like to, I just attempt to answer this question. Challenges of women are common, whether the women belongs to the formal sector or to the informal sector, right? The first biggest challenge is to break her own idea about herself, right? She has to confidently trust her skills and she has to trust herself. And the second biggest challenge is whether she can walk out of her four walls. Because the first priority of a woman is towards her family, towards the better and welfare of her husband, her children, her in-laws, and to the betterment of her home. And the professional comes as a second priority. But women who can face this challenge and bring about a balance between her professional life and her personal life, I think she becomes a successful one. But initially, this challenge is quite big. And the challenge is bigger for the informal women, I mean to say women in the informal sector who are faced with the scarcity of resources. Resources here, I mean to say both their knowledge resources as well as the financial resources. And she getting into the market itself becomes a big challenge. And today, the way the Indian society is trying to change, transform, I mean to say the ideology of women is still not completely changed in the mindset of the people. Okay. Women still face the threat of insecurity. She cannot go out all alone, right? In the market, when the woman comes as an informal entrepreneur, she faces the biggest challenge of standing on her dignity. And overcoming all this challenge, I think it's the biggest challenge for her. And the day when Indian male society changes their perspective of women, I think half of the challenges of women will be solved. The other half will be only to prove her professional ability. I hope this answers your question, sir.
Okay, definitely, madam. Absolutely, you are right that unless and until the men in India are able to change their perspective towards the women, so it is very difficult for the women to come out of that cobweb and thereby render their human service. You are absolutely right in saying. And last question, I think that being raised by Avinash Shinde. So he's asking us, madam, that does really rural women are getting the financial support from the government, or mediators are eating away everything or consuming? So he wanted to know that financial support, whether it reaches the target women entrepreneurs or not.
Sir, I would be, in fact, I will be failing in if I say ki it's not reaching or it is reaching. We in India especially stand on a threshold where the mediators try to take advantage of every situation. The government tries its best in forming schemes and policies to see that financial support reaches to the most needed one. But the middlemen, they always try to take up a bigger share of these schemes. But uh, people like forming groups and like self-help groups, they and their mutual coordination of financial help and resources, they are trying to provide finances to these groups. And it is not only in Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh. Some of our research scholars are also working on this type of study in, I mean to say, the northeastern states of Tripura and all, where the major informal entrepreneurs are women. So they are getting into the self-help groups where they generate their own funds and depend less on the government. But of course, I really back up the government because the schemes are really good. Okay, I think that should be fine with the question, sir.
Okay. Thank you, madam. So you rightly said that schemes are absolutely good and they are beneficial, but the end point, reaching to the end customers or the clients. So obviously, that is in Indian bureaucracy, it may have some troubles, but schemes are good as such. So Northeastern,
Yes, sir.
as you rightly pointed out, that the Northeastern women entrepreneurs are self-dependent through their SHEs, financing themselves, depending less on the government. So that should become a role model for the other entrepreneurs in the entire country, what I feel. Okay, I endorse your views fully, madam. Thank you so much, Sapya, madam, for having
Thank you, sir.
given your valuable time, you being at the helm of affairs at the higher educational institutions at university level, having shared your valuable time and made this the webinar a smooth conduct of the interaction with the participants. So thank you so much, and our call is
Sir,
owes a lot to you.
sir,
We wish you. Okay.
before I conclude, I would like to say that coming to this webinar was like a homecoming for me, because ASM College for Women has helped me grow a lot. Right, whatever I am today, I owe it to those corridors of ASM College, and especially to my beloved teachers like Gavi Siddhappa sir, Mallikarjun sir, Patil sir, Asha ma'am, Leela ma'am, all of those teachers of mine, Rafat ma'am, who have taught me, who have guided me at every step. Sir, Gavi Siddhappa sir, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. You could really at least find me able to participate in this webinar and present my views on this topic. I wholeheartedly thank you, sir, for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, madam. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
so now we will go for second technical session, madam. Thank you so much, madam. So I hope that the participants, the interaction with the madam is being satisfied, and I feel that it is a wonderful session to have an interaction with Dr. Sapya Parveen madam of the Central University of Karnataka. So now the second technical session is going to begin. So being taken over by Dr. Jyoti madam of Bellary Institute of Technology and Management, Bellary. So she will be having a talk on. Okay, so she will be presenting her views on the entrepreneurship is a major approach in solving unemployment. So now I request Gayatri madam. Now I request Gayatri madam to introduce the resource person for the technical session 2. Over to Gayatri madam.
Good day to one and all. Good day to one and all. After the wonderful section by Dr. Sapya Parveen Madam, now it's time to listen to our second speaker. It's my privilege and honor to introduce Dr. Janat Jyoti D'Souza. Madam was born on 14th November 1984 at Bantwal Taluk, Mangalore. She was graduated from Sacred Heart College and post-graduated from Srinivas Institute of Management Studies, Mangalore. In 2016, she was awarded with PhD from Mangalore University. She started off with this profession in 2007 and served for 8 years at Srinivas Institute of Management Studies, and later in 2015 joined Ballari Institute of Management Studies. Madam has authored a textbook titled Advertising and Media Planning and co-authored a student's guide on sales and advertisement management. Her passion and dedication for research can be witnessed by her tremendous work in the area of research. She has to her credit 19 research papers published in various national and international journals. I would like to highlight 2 of her research papers are published in Page Publications, which is indeed reaching a milestone for any researcher. In addition, she has attended and presented her research findings in national and international conference, wherein she was awarded with Best Paper Award and Outstanding Paper Award for 3 consecutive years in 2013, 14, and 15. A golden feather was added in her cap when she was awarded with Outstanding Young Women Management Researcher Award by AIMS International and IIMK. Currently, 3 students are pursuing PhD under her supervision and direction. Finally, I would like to sum up that Madam is an epitome of passion, perfection, and excellence, and a true inspirer to the budding researchers out there. This is in brief Dr. Janet Jyoti D'Souza. It is fortunate enough to have you as one of the speakers for today's webinar. I welcome you, Madam, and request you to continue the session. Over to you, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much for your good introduction, and yes, given me a good start. Thank you.
Yes, please unmute yourself.
Can I start the session, sir? Yeah, very warm good morning to everyone. I'm really grateful to be here with this particular webinar session, which is organized by ASM College, Ballari. I thank Dr. Timma Reddy, the principal of ASM College, and Dr. Gavisiddappa sir, HOD Commerce, and Gayatri madam for introducing me to this particular webinar. So my topic for the discussion is entrepreneurship is a major approach in solving unemployment. Entrepreneurship is not a cup of tea of everyone. The person who is having a zeal, the person who is having a commitment, dedication, and ideas will move towards a route of success, and definitely will enjoy the success, name, fame, everything. But he has to sacrifice a lot. And many of us, including me, we have not taken entrepreneurship as a major goal in our life. But you young students starting your career, definitely this will be the best option available. I will be dealing with this particular topic, how exactly it will give you a roadmap, then how you can deal with it, and how you can give employment to others rather than searching for employment. So myself, Dr. Janet Jyoti D'Souza, Associate Professor, Department of Management Studies, Ballari Institute of Technology and Management, Ballari. Now, I wanted to start the session with a small story. I think the story might have been heard from many, or you might have known this particular thing. One manufacturer started a unit, and he wanted to, and that unit is a chappal or shoes manufacturing. And he appointed 2 salesperson related to marketing, and he has asked them to go to an island and market the product and come back with the sales. Then both of them went there, and first person responded to the manufacturer or the businessman, stating that you stop producing the product because when I see here in the island, nobody is wearing the chappals. And for me, if you manufacture it is a dead waste. And definitely that is not going to work out as a business model. The other person immediately called and said that you start producing in a multiple unit because you're nowhere is wearing the chappal. Give me a time where I will teach them how to wear and how to use this particular product. And here is a big market. Now, why I'm telling this particular story is maybe the manufacturer is having an idea of producing the product, but at the same time, supporting staff encouragement is very, very important. If you listen to a first person related to not manufacturing the product, he might have lost the opportunity. In the second person, while he is encouraged him, stating that there is a wide market for the product. So manufacturing a chapel business in Ireland where they don't use that particular product, and you you give a training or you give them a useful tips how to use it and create a big market. That is the difference between the thinker and the supporting staff which is required to become or to move with a good entrepreneur. Now here I will go with the introduction. So entrepreneurship is not just the mixture of ideas, desires for success. Obviously ideas are required because what to start, when to start, how to start. These are the basic questions being an entrepreneur will be asked. So here and trend for employment, integration with the right path, business partners, and the issues obtaining the initial capital, but largely also depends upon the laws in each country and the infrastructure which the country offers. Now we are in a developing country where lot of schemes are coming up to boost up the entrepreneurship, because India is largely associated with the unemployment problem, and unemployment problem will be eradicated with the help of entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs will create the multiple jobs opportunity, plus they can build the economy at large. And because of this, the Indian government is taking lot of initiative to encourage the entrepreneurs, and there is a positive vibes or positive environment is created to the upbringing startups in India. So countries with better entrepreneurial infrastructure. Now, when we talk about infrastructure, it may be technology parks, university incubators, etc., are definitely more open to competition and entrepreneurial activities than others. If you see the developed countries and developing countries, they have lot of infrastructure, and that is the reason lot of entrepreneurs are ranked there, and they have grown up, and same formula or same model is used by the developing countries, and developing countries are also in the mode of giving encouragement. Now, recent trend, I think all of us are aware about it, that COVID-19 and unemployment problem. Now, COVID-19 has created a greater impact, and there is a restructuring of the entire economy is happening. There is unemployment rate is also growing up. So we will see what exactly the things are happened recently. So India's urban unemployment rate has risen to 30.9%, even as overall rate rise to 23.4%. Now, this is the latest statistic during this COVID-19, which is impacted on our economy. Now, when you compare the rate of urban and rural, overall rate is 23.4%, and out of this 23.4%, the major component is coming from urban areas. That means many of the urban people losing their job, and you might have heard this, that they are coming back to their native and doing their home business or agriculture stuff like that. Now, here is one statistician, that is Pranab Sen, the former chief statistician of India. He roughly calculated that about 50 million people might have lost jobs in just 2 weeks of lockdown. Now, after lockdown, the effect is much more bigger than this. He has given a rough calculation, And when the 50 million people lost their job, and just imagine how it has impacted the Indian economy, and what will be the severity the people might have undergone, those who have lost job. Now this might be the situation in my house or your house. We have seen how people are searching for the job, or those who have lost, what is their mindset, how they have to run their family, their personal commitments. Now keeping it aside, I mean, whether they have a chance of solving their problem through entrepreneurship. Now me and you has to encourage them to come. If they are having a genuine idea, we have to boost them to come up with entrepreneurship skill. Now if you see here again, you can see one graph here. Now it is starting from 15th March 2020 to 5th April 2020. It is a small span of time. Now 15th March 2020, the percentage of unemployment is 8.21%. Now when it comes to 5th April 2020, now the percentage is 30.93%. The deviation is not small. Deviation is in a bigger amount. Now this statistics is given with a correct source, that is CMIE. Now what exactly it talks about? It talks about that we are moving to a danger line. We have to come with the solution to this particular problem. Now what is the solution? Now the people who have lost have to stop hunting a job. That means they should not hunt a job. Now if they have a strong desire to become an entrepreneur, now this is the right choice or right time. Why? Because the government of India has given 20 lakhs crore package in announcing Atmanirbhar packages. Now a lot of schemes are available. Now we have to take a courage, and we have to search where we can fix our problem, and we have to use the benefit which is given by the government. And instead of searching a job, we can offer a job to a large number of people, and we can build a career to them as well as us. Now create your own job. That is what I was talking about. So better stop. Once you stop hunting the job, then the question will come, what next? So how you can do that? First, you have to think about these things. Whether you have a passion toward entrepreneurship, then you have to generate the idea. Then you have to go for differentiation, then organization and calculation. Now, what is this passion? Here's some simple statement is given. If you can't sleep at night because you are thinking of your business success, go for it. That means this particular entrepreneurship, or to become a passion to be with it, then it should disturb your mind. Your mind should not be calm, and a lot of thought processing should happen. The ideas has to be generated. Now where you can plug in this idea, how the business will be. You have to give a blueprint to your ideas. So ideas in the case what, how, when, and to whom. Now this has to be asked for yourself. You have to compare, or you can imitate some of the good entrepreneur, how they have evolved. Now when you speak about some good entrepreneur or the successful entrepreneur, their roadmap or their path was not so easy. Now every entrepreneur has had a bad day, and they are standing today with a good day because they had committed towards their work. They have a passion for success. They have a passion to bring out the ideas. Now differentiation. I think differentiation I need not explain here. Now everyone are different from one to other. Now here we talk about, if you are selling your products, it should be different. If you are selling your service, it should be different. Now how it will be different? Now I wanted to give the idea of Samsung and Nokia. These are the two rival competitors. They are selling the smartphones. Now go back the years, 10 years or 12 years back, or maybe 15 years back. I mean, if I ask you one question, which particular product was number one, then you might have said Nokia, because Nokia was hard sell. I mean, it is very, very popular selling product. Everyone want to be associated with Nokia. But Samsung had a problem. The features were good, but they didn't have unique selling proposition, where they had a problem with battery. So the battery was not lasting for longer period of time. So that was the biggest drawback where Samsung was going through, but Nokia was in the peak of success. Now see the present situation. It is just, reverse, where Nokia is taken the place of Samsung and Samsung is taken the place of Nokia. Now, how it has happened, they have overcome with the problem. They have just given R&D to what are the requirements or what are the expectation from the general prospect customers, and they have differentiated themselves, and now they have become number one. So customer experience with Samsung is much better than Nokia. So differentiation has to be there, because unless you differentiate, people will not identify your brand, and that has to be taken care in the beginning itself. Then organization and calculation. Obviously, lot of investment will go into the entrepreneurship. It not just the ideas, or just not the differentiation, or it is not just the passion. You are putting lot of investment, plus and minus has to be calculated. Now, how this plus and minus has to be calculated? This has to be calculated with SWOT analysis. Now, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat, that will give you a brief idea where I can stand and how I can build my path to move towards a successful entrepreneur. Then management, profit and loss, and budget. So this has to be dealt in detail in order to start a particular unit of enterprise. Now here, differentiation, as I said, not bad to imitate. Just do it better, cheaper, and faster. Now, imitating is not a bad idea. You can imitate it. I think if you take a soap, now usage will be the same. The consumer will be the same, but you have n number of varieties. Now, if I take Fair and Lovely, that is face cream. Usually it is much popular earlier. Now they have not stopped with one brand. They have come up with Fair and Lovely herbs. Then they have n number of variants. Why this n number of variants? They wanted to differentiate with the competitors. Now competitors, they have started with environment friendly product or herbal friendly product, and immediately the Fair and Lovely company has also thought, if I'm standing here, I will be losing out. So I have to differentiate by adding my own features to it. Now, ultimately, differentiating the brand will be very, very important. Now, create your own unique offerings. A unique selling proposition, something that offers customer a new experience. Now, here, the branded products and unbranded products. Now, if you go to a shop, you will purchase a particular shirt for 500 rupees. Now, if you go to a particular Peter England or maybe Aravind Mills or whatever the branded showroom, same product you will be offered with 5,000, maybe 7,000, 10,000, and so on. Now, why this differentiation? Now they have a unique selling proposition stating that how local products will be inferior than their product. So they will convince in such a way that the branded products are very, very unique and they give the feel of that brand. So that is also very, very much important for an entrepreneur. Now, a degree of differentiation you see here. You have a mass marketing, you have segment marketing, and you have a niche marketing. Now here you see, you have here three markets. You have three products. Now product 1, product 2, product 3. Now you take the product 1 in the mass marketing, market 1, market 2 and market 3. Now all the market you are offering the same product. Maybe your consumer products will be having a mass marketing level, because all the market, whether you are in Ballari, whether you are in Bangalore, whether you are in Delhi, it doesn't make any difference. So market 1, market 2 and market, there is no differentiation. You are selling the same product throughout the country or throughout your market. Now in the case of a segment marketing, you're segmenting. Now what kind of segment? You will be selling one product in one market, product 1 in market 1, product 2 in market 2, product 3 in market 3. This is your different product to more segments. That means you have maybe 3 or 4 products, but 4 products are not targeted to the same market, but they will be targeted to the different market. Say for example, you have you have a consumer product that will be market 1. You have shampoos, or you have some ladies product that will be specifically customized for a female segment. Maybe childcare product is another market where they can be targeted to the parents. So, Unilever company is the best example where they have all the segment marketing. They have different products for the different segment. Now, coming to the niche marketing. Now, one product to one market. Now, automobile industry, if you talk about BMW cars, or you may be talking to Audi, maybe automobile sectors, they are targeting only the niche people or niche marketing, or it is one segment targeting, because they don't want it to target in the mass, because they are very sure where they wanted to bring their product. Now the title is entrepreneurship. Now degree of differentiation, why it is so much of relative. So if you think about connecting your product to the people, or if you wanted to reach the people, understanding the degree of differentiation is very, very important. Whether your ideas will be generated into product, whether it related to mass marketing, or whether it related to segment marketing, or whether it related to niche marketing, because this will generate the revenue to the entrepreneur and success to the entrepreneur. So understanding the market is very, very important in this case. Now, successful entrepreneurs in India. Now, I wanted to take the example of 2 people here who has started from the scratch. So numbers may be now, capitalization is much bigger, but when they started up, their business is it is in a startup level, very, very small level. Now they have become a big giant. Now, first one is Amul, Anand Milk Union Limited. Now this is started in the year 1946 in the Gujarat. Now he is the person behind it, Dr. Verghese Kurian. Now he helped the farmers. Now the local market, he has globalized it, or he has taken to the whole country. Now he is called as Milkman of India. Now why he is called as Milkman of India? Now he has created the white revolution in Gujarat. Now he spreaded the marketing capacity, how a milk can be generated with n number of products. And today, if you talk about this company, standing #1 position in the case of dairy products. Now, what kind of structure he followed? He started from the scratch. That means the source where the raw material is available. That is what village level. He started collecting through cooperative societies. Then he had formed district level, that is Milk Union. Then he is moved to state level, that is Milk Federation. Now he has started collecting from the milk from the cooperative level, and milk procurement and processing in district level. Finally, in the state level is milk products marketing. So source of milk is from village. Now from the village, he has taken that particular product and marketed it throughout the country. Now, if you talk about the product range, what he is having is your milk powder, butter, ghee, then paneer, then curd, chocolate, ice creams, fresh creams. Now, what else? Nobody thought of it that Amul can create such a big, wide market by just starting a small unit in Gujarat. Now, they were startup in the year 1946. In 2020, they are big industry in one of the big industries in India. So next is another encouraging group is Tata Group. Now, Tata Group, you know, it has started in the year 1868 as a startup. Then it has see here a foundation with started with the steel. Then they have a number of companies. Now expansion is happened with 30 large companies. They are owning it. Now, who are the brains behind this? Then Jamshedji Tata, who is the founder. Then it is followed by JRD Tata, now presently Ratan Tata. Now, these are the three pillars, stood like a pillar to that particular Tata Group. And now the Tata Group has treated as India's largest global enterprise. Now, it is recognized as global enterprise comprising of 30 companies across the verticals. That means 30 limited companies they are having in the case of Tata Group. Now, subsidiaries galore. Now, you can see now what kind of companies they have. They have information technology, they have steel, they have automotive, then consumer and retail, then infrastructure, financial services, aerospace and defense, then tourism and travel, telecom and media, trading and investment. So, and so on. So these are the few companies which has given a great credit to Tata Group, and they are very much sure that they will be, continuing this, entrepreneurial glow for the next generation also. Now, why these two stories I was telling? Because nobody started with somewhere and reached here. Now, both these particular people have started from the scratch and reached here. Now, these are the motivators for all of us, that if you have an idea, if you have a genuine idea and you have a passion towards become something, definitely the society will support. At the same time, the government will also support. Now, I think I'm very, very glad to interact with young minds today, because you are in the process of creating a particular career. You are just thinking how to start. Whether you are not started your career, you are in the process of identifying your career. Now here, this webinar, I think in the beginning session, Madam has encouraged the women out there, and now it is generally all of you. You take a few minutes of time, think about yourself, whether you have a passion to become something. If yes, definitely there will be hurdles. Now, how you can, overcome that particular hurdle, and how you can reach the goal or aim, or how you can reach that particular success stories, how these people have reached. Now, as I said, when you start up your particular enterprise, it is not a smooth walk, or it will not be a bed of roses where it looks very beautiful. There is lot of sacrifice, lot of commitment. And one thing is, I began my session with one story that where the salesman has given two different ideas. So surrounding society also has to encourage. At the same time, infrastructure from the government should be very, very positive and supportive. And here, I think these are the schemes available from the government side in order to encourage people, young minds like you, come up with the new ideas. So we will see one by one what what the government has initiated to encourage entrepreneurs in India. Now, first one is Startup India. Now, this is a scheme you can log into www.startupindia.gov.in. There you will get what are the schemes available and how the Indian government is taking initiative to reach the young minds in different ways. So through the Startup India initiative, Government of India promotes entrepreneurship by mentoring and nurturing and facilitating startups throughout their life cycle. Now, maybe you're in the startup, or maybe you're in a medium scale industry and you have reached your growth stage, or I mean, whatever the stage you are in. If you want an assistant, you can log in here. There are a lot of schemes, and the Government of India will pitch in mentoring and nurturing and facilitating the startup. With a 360-degree approach to enable startup, the initiative provides a comprehensive 4-week free online learning program. So nobody aware how the Amul built, nobody aware how the Tata, aware in the sense we know the stories, but personally we have not experienced it. They might have started on a trial and basis, or they have started with the zeal. Now, if you have the same zeal, but you can take a 4-week training program in the Startup India, and you can put forth your views, and there is also fund of funds has been created to help the startup. So your training facility will be given. If you have an investment problem, that can be set righted with this particular scheme of central government. Next one is Make in India. So here, Make in India policy is established in the year September 2014. It come a powerful call to Indian citizens and business leaders, and in an invitation to potential partners and investors around the world to overhaul outdated process and policies and centralize information about opportunities in Indian manufacturing sector. So Make in India is related to manufacturing unit. Now, I think in theoretical terms, you might have studied why the Indian, some of the industries are not performing. Maybe one of the reason is outdated machinery or outdated process. Now, if you wanted to improve it, or if you, at that time, the Make in India will come in, pitch in, it will give you the outdated process, eradicate and update the process. And also it is helping procure the investment. If you have a problem of investment, it is also helping you. Then foster innovation, then develop skill, protect intellectual property, and build best-in-class manufacturing. The very important thing is intellectual property. Thus, intellectual property is very, very important, because you have to register and get the copyright or trademarks of your particular business. If anybody is having the problem, again, Making India scheme will give a benefit. Now, in the case of protecting this intellectual property is also very, very important. There is a lengthy process to do that particular process, and Make in India scheme will give a brief note of this. Then Atal Innovation Mission, this is, it is called as AIM, is a Government of India. It is built under Niti Aayog and endeavor to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship in technology-driven areas. So in order to foster curiosity, creativity, and imagination, right at school, Atal Incubation Centers are another program of AIM created to build innovative startup business as a scalable and sustainable enterprise. Now, the beauty of this particular program is they wanted to nurture, or they wanted to feed the seed of entrepreneurship from the school level. Now, when I go through this particular site, then I found that there is a 20 lakh financial aid will be given to the school. 10 lakhs will be for building your incubation center, and 10 lakhs for maintenance. So with this, student can come up with their own idea. The training will be given they will be linked with the higher class trainers, and if they have idea, that will be encouraged to bring forward to the society. And this is the best platform available to young minds, I think, through college level or through school level. So ATL is a workspace where young minds can give shape to their ideas through hands-on, do it yourself mode, and learn innovation skill. So innovation skills has to be boosted through school level. So this is the initiative taken by the government to reach the people there. Then young children will get a chance to work with tools and equipments to understand the concept of STEM. STEM is nothing but science, technology, engineering, and maths. Now, I mean, any field, I mean, they have ideas to generate, that has to be encouraged. Then it would contain educational and learning. Do it yourself. That is the mantra of this particular scheme. Kits and equipments on science, electronics, and robotics, open source microcontroller board, sensor and 3D printers and computers will be given. So this ATL, do it for yourself, will be having a kit and equipment. It will boost the young minds to come up with new ideas. So other desirable facilities include meeting rooms and video conferencing facility. That means if you wanted to reach out somebody, definitely this scheme will help you out to reach through your meeting rooms and video conferencing. Then support to training and employment program for women. So here specifically this program is for women. Now it is really very, very important that government has to take the initiative to encourage the women minds there to come up with new ideas, because they are not restrictive to the particular society. If they have a desire to become entrepreneur, definitely. Now this has launched by India's Ministry of Women and Child Development to train women with no access to formal skill training facility, especially in rural India. Now this ministry is also under Niti Aayog, and it is given financial benefit. It is giving you the training skill. At the same time, it will help you to reach to a bigger level. Now, the starting age to enroll for this particular program is 16 years. To the maximum age is not reflected there. But if your age is 16 years, you are eligible to enroll for this particular scheme. Now, under the scheme, the skills for agriculture, horticulture, food processing, handlooms, traditional crafts like embroidery, travel and tourism, hospitality, computer and IT services will be given. And if after training, if you are setting up your own unit, that is very, very much encouraged by this particular scheme. So Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile, it is called JAM. Recently the PM of our country has given this. Now this scheme is started to avoid unnecessary wastage of money through middlemen. Now subsidies will be given to loss-making concern, or subsidies will be given for the startups, or subsidies will be given for women enterprises. But when it is reached to the actual beneficiary, maybe the portion what is sanctioned and portion what is received will be totally different. So JAM for the first time is a technological intervention that enables direct transfer of subsidies to intended beneficiaries, and therefore eliminates all intermediaries and leakages in the system. So they wanted to see that corruption is minimum, and the output, or beneficiaries will get the benefit to the maximum. So with that intention, this particular scheme is developed or launched by our Prime Minister. So JAM is nothing but just achieving maximum by giving a maximum proportion of subsidies to the beneficiary. So besides serving as a vital check on corruption, JAM provides for accounts to all undeserved regions in order to make banking services. Undeserved regions means those who people don't have a banking service. That means they are not included in financial inclusion. Maybe there also they wanted to bring it to this particular banking system. Now, this is specifically talking about Biotechnological Industry Research Assistance Council. It is BIRAC. It is a non-profit organization. It is basically talking about Department of Biotechnology. Now, it is strengthened and empowering emerging biotechnology in enterprise. It aims to embed strategic research and innovation in all biotech enterprise and bridge the existing gap between industry and academia. So here the researchers might have teachers like me and some of them might have heard the story. Or maybe there is a lack of industry and academia interaction. So in order to bring this back, in order to fill this gap, this particular scheme is landed up, and it is doing its own programs to reach reach or eradicate the gap between industry and academia. BIRAC has initiated partnership with several nations and global partners for building capacities of the Indian biotech industry, particularly startups and SMEs, that is small and medium scale enterprise, and has facilitated several rapid development in medical technologies. So, this is another avenue which is available for young minds to take the advantage of it. Next one is Stand Up India. It is launched recently, 2015. Stand Up India seeks to leverage institutional credit for the benefit of India's underprivileged. That means it is related to SC/ST category and OBC category. Maybe they wanted to come up in their life through entrepreneur, and the special scheme is available in Stand Up India. So here the SC/ST communities are granted loans between rupees 1 million to rupees 10 million to set up greenfield enterprise in manufacturing, service and trading sector. So the category people are getting up to 1 million. Minimum is 1 million and maximum is 10 million. And they can do their ventures in manufacturing, service and trading sector. Then the Stand Up India portal also acts as a digital platform for small entrepreneurs and provides information on financing and credit guarantee. So, sometimes credit guarantee is required to get the credit facility, and this particular scheme acts as that. And I think the backward community can take the advantage of it and can become the entrepreneur. Then trade-related entrepreneurship assistance and development. To address the critical issue of access to credit among India unprivileged women, the TREAD program enables credit availability to interested women through non-government organizations. Now, this is the NGO, and through this, again, women entrepreneurs are given a priority to make or kickstart their own enterprises. Then Pradhan Mantri Kushal Vikas Yojana. I think this is for the heritage kind of enterprises. The flagship initiative of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. This is a skill certification initiative that aims to train youth in industry relevant skill to enhance opportunities for livelihood creation and employment. Now, training and assessment fees are entire government under this particular program. So this program will be given training skills, and they wanted to encourage the young minds again to see that their heritage related or the some kind of enterprise will be boosted here. Then National Skill Development Mission. Now this is launched again in the year 2015. The mission aims to build synergies across sectors and states in skill industries and initiative. With a mission to build a skill India, it is designed to expedite decision making across sectors to provide skill at scale without compromising quality. Now, quality is a priority, but again, these skill development will nurture the young minds to come up with or to fine tune the skills which is required to become a good entrepreneur. Now, these are the training facilities are available there: institutional training, infrastructure, convergence, trainers will be appointed there, overseas employment, sustainable livelihood, then leveraging public infrastructure. So these are the 7 submissions proposed under this particular scheme. Now, women at large, again, there are some nationalized banks have come up with good schemes for women entrepreneurs. Now, thread scheme for women, as I said, here you can see here, scheme is available, agency and bank where you can get this particular scheme and details. Now, in the case of first scheme, 30% of total project cost as a government grant, 70% by appraising institution will be given. And Bharatiya Mahila Bank, I mean, that is the initiative taken by the government. Now it is especially, I mean, giving a working capital and boost the women entrepreneur to get the loan up to 1 crore issued with the Credit Guarantee Fund Trust of medium and small scale industries here. Then ELIP and CG's TSI, that is Andhra Bank, is giving this initiative. Akshaya Mahila Arthik Sahaya Yojana, this is given by Bank of Baroda. Then scheme for professional and self-employed women, this is given by Oriental Bank of Commerce. Then Dena Shakti scheme is given by Dena Bank. Shri Shakti package is given by State Bank of India. Cent Kalyani is given by Central Bank. And marketing fund for women will be given by SIDBI. Now here in the details, the maximum amount and the minimum amount where they can avail out of this particular scheme now is mentioned here. But I think the young women, in spite of their challenges, many have become successful entrepreneurs. I think we can take best example as Indra Nooyi, who is the CEO of PepsiCo, ex-CEO of PepsiCo. Now, she, I can tell one thing. I am big fan of her, and I used to listen to her majority of the time whenever I'm free. And she told one thing, that she is recognized as a good leader. Why I'm telling this, has she is having her own family, she is having her own kids. She is not from United States, but still she has created her own space in the country. Now the thing is, one of the interviews she told, I have a passion towards my work. I love my work. That is the reason. Majority of the time, without doing work, I cannot sleep. And again, she tells that leadership level is having very, very big responsibility. One statement of her as shows what kind of leader she is. The statement is, she tells, a good leader is one where he or she has to grow. At the same time, she has to allow others also to grow. And she has taken many initiatives for the betterment of the people working there. So women cannot take the priority that I have a family, I have constraint, and I cannot do this. The schemes are given by the government. At the same time, it is our responsibility that we can make use of it. And if you have a zeal, definitely the society will support. The government will support. At the end of the day, you will get name and fame. Now, whether it is a women entrepreneur, whether it is a men entrepreneur, all will go through a hardship. Now, we cannot give the reason everyone expect the results. Nobody is ready to listen for the reasons. And therefore, we women should not think that, okay, women feminism is one of the threat to move forward. Now, being a woman, we should be very strong. We are capable of multitasking, and profession is another priority. How we give a priority in our to look after our family. So this is the note. Now, as I said, started that entrepreneurship is a big approach in solving unemployment. Now, that is how I started my session. I showcased what exactly the things are required. I started with the note that the government or the country should be very, very supportive. There should be a supportive environment, and then the rate of entrepreneurs will be higher. That is what happened in developed country, and developing countries are moving in the same footprint. Now, I mean, hunting a job, definitely nobody will, after completing your graduation, nobody will encourage you start up immediately. Immediately you can look after your passion, but at the same time you can start your job. But this passion has to be converted once you experience in your life. Maybe not at the age of 20, maybe 25, 30, you will come across what kind of environment you are in, whether your ideas will suit to the present situation, what kind of support government is giving. Now, if you start an enterprise, or if you become an entrepreneur, so what are the effect of it? Lower unemployment. So you create a number of people will come and do the employment there. You generate the income and distribute the income to the nation. That means economy also grow, you grow, and you allow the society also to grow. Then new business created. I think if nobody thinks about enterprise, we wouldn't have been use so many products. If I'm sitting in a chair, it is an invention of somebody. If I'm using this mobile, it is an invention of somebody. The business is created. If I'm using this laptop, that is a business of somebody. Now, if you have a greater idea, it benefits the society at large. Don't keep within yourself. I mean, it is a failure or success that destiny has to tell. Now, in the beginning only, if you decide it is a failure, I think you cannot start your step in a correct way. So new jobs are created, increased tax base. Now, when the income is created or income is generated, definitely the government will be there to put the tax, and that will be benefited at the society at large again. Then financial freedom. You need not always think about the salary at the end of the day. You have your own financial freedom. It doesn't mean that all the income is the income of the entrepreneur. Obviously, there will be revenue and expenditure. So plus and minus will be there. But ultimately, the financial freedom will, the entrepreneur will get it. Why he will get it? We have the thumb rule there: higher the risk, higher the return. So the entrepreneurship effect are very, very positive, and they create lot of a lot of employment to the people. It gives soul satisfaction, self-esteem, and at the same time it benefits the society and the country. Indian economy, again, it can start boosting it up, because it is the rate of growth is not accelerated because of this COVID-19. So I request the young minds, take your time, 10 minutes or 15 minutes of time, think about yourself, what exactly you wanted to do. And if you are having a zeal to become an entrepreneur, I mean, Atmanirbhar program is well defined, and I mean, you can make use of that particular scheme and build your own empire of entrepreneur. So I will stop here my presentation.
Thank you.
I'm open for the questions, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much, madam. So
Thank you, sir.
I hope that all the participants are highly being educated and informed about the various aspects of the entrepreneurship, particularly in solving the unemployment problem. Madam has rightly started her speech with the Atmanirbhar scheme of the government of India, where 20 lakhs crores have been fund has been created by the government for the benefit of the entrepreneurs. So she began her speech with a punchline: "Stop hunting job." That itself has made a greater impact on the part of the participants to create their own job with the passion, ideas, differentiation, organization, and the celebrations. So many live examples Madam has given that has made the participants to understand the concepts in a more effective way with the cell phones, fast-moving consumer goods. She also gave the example of Dr. Varghese Kurian, who is in turn being a man behind this great success being achieved by the Amul, the Taste of India, a brand in our country and elsewhere in the world. She also touched upon the various schemes that have been launched by the government of India. So on Atal Innovation Mission, incubation centers where catch them young policy being rightly followed by the government of India to create the entrepreneurs in the upcoming days. Now the session is being thrown open for interaction with the madam, and any queries can be raised by the participants by unmuting themselves, or else they can also ask in the chat box. And one question right now is being received, madam. I just pass it on to you. So Samia Benhia has asked a question that is the impact of cultural diversity on the role of Indian women.
Yeah, definitely.
So participant wanted.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you hear, madam?
Okay. I mean, the diversity, the cultural diversity do affect. I wanted to give an example of pizza. Now, pizza is basically an Italian product. They wanted to globalize it and brought it to Indian society, where the base of that particular product was meat, and it was not accepted by Indian culture. And definitely they have rethought of it, and then they have brought it a veg pizza or paneer pizza, because cultural diversity do exist, and especially women. If you go to Kerala, the women's culture is different, and forget about the state. In our own state, Karnataka state, if you come to Ballari and if you go to Mangalore, the two different, because I felt it, because I'm basically from Mangalore, and when I come to Ballari, it was very difficult for me to digest the system here, but slowly and steadily I inculcated myself, because it is part and parcel of my living. So definitely it is having due impact when it comes to business. Now some of the aspect can be taken as a business prosperity or business ideas, and can be generated revenue out of it, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So I hope that the answer has rightly been said by madam. So there is going to be a greater impact of the cultural diversity on Indian women. So India is known for unity in diversity. There is no doubt about the fact that there is going to be a greater impact on the.
Also rightly said, sir. I think she is from Chennai, and presently she is in US. And I think one of the sessions she addressed that she was not having so well dressed. She was having, lot of comments when she started working in US. And at the end of the day, she thought it is not the dress or it is not the culture, it is making the difference. It is a work brings the difference. That is what she addressed in the interview, sir.
Okay, you are absolutely right, madam. So there is no doubt about it. So now, any other queries? Yes. Okay, so shall we end? So now, so I think that the madam has exhaustively covered the most of the aspects of the role of women entrepreneurs in solving the unemployment problem in India, unemployment or underemployment, whatever may be the case. So the Sudhanshu Shekhar is saying that even South Indian food like idli, that is very much common in North India, especially in my city Patna. My college canteen always serve this. Okay, very nice, very kind of you, sir, having tasted the South Indian idli at North India. Okay, so thank you very much, madam, so for sparing your valuable time and touching most of the aspects in a very effective manner with your PPTs. Many participants are asking PPTs to be shared, and I hope that with your permissions, okay, in case if
It is my
okay,
privilege.
okay, madam, with your permission, we are going to share the
Thank you
PPTs.
and the principal and the entire team for giving me this opportunity to speak out my views on this particular topic. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, madam. Please stay back, madam. We are having a last item in the program, that is vote of thanks by
Yes.
one of our faculty, Miss Divya Budur, madam.
Yes.
Over to Divya Budur, madam, for proposing vote of thanks. Please, madam.
A warm, grateful good afternoon to one and all. I deem it a unique privilege to propose vote of thanks in this Augustus occasion. On behalf of our fraternity VG Sangha, Srimati Allam Sumangalama Memorial College for Women Ballari, we all sincerely thank the Almighty for the smooth conduct of the day webinar. At the outset, I would like to thank our college chairperson, Srimati Angadi Shashikala Madam, for the constant encouragement in conduct of such an event. Thank you, ma'am. Our sincere thanks to our beloved principal of the college, Dr. S.Y. Simareddy sir, for his enthusiastic, cheerful support in organizing academic events for the benefit of the students' community. We express our heartfelt thank you, sir. Though we are physically locked in this COVID-19 pandemic, but not mentally. We have been activated with this webinar, and all the credits goes to the resource person, Safia Parveen, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, Central University, Karnataka, Kalburgi. Thank you for addressing the role of informal women entrepreneurs, the capacity of a woman in economic productivity, the way the woman adopts the modernization and balancing herself in the society. Special thanks to Janet Jyoti D'Souza, Associate Professor, Department of Management Studies, Ballari Institution of Technology Management Studies. Thank you, ma'am, for highlighting and sharing the knowledge about women entrepreneurs' major approach in solving the unemployment and by highlighting the methods of overcoming the unemployment like Make in India concept and various other government schemes for new and young entrepreneurs. As we all know that the events don't happen overnight itself. It requires a lot of planning and organizing. This is being done by IQSC coordinator, Dr. N.G. Nadgaud sir, organizing secretary, Dr. Gavisidappa Gadad sir, head of Department of College, and all the faculty members of PG studies. So special thanks to moderator, Professor Gangadhar and Ms. Gayatri, who told the labor in conduct of webinar. My sincere thanks to all you who all toiled the labor in technical assistance. Last but not least, I finally express my gratitude to all the participants and well-wishers for their positive response in the smooth conduct of the seminar. Hope to receive this type of overwhelming response our upcoming events. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Divya Budur, for having proposed the vote of thanks. So now we are going to conclude the webinar. So thank you very much for all the participants and your support. Hope to see the same support in the upcoming events of our college. So thank you, madam. So
Thanks, thank you.
And feedback is already shared in the chat box. So kindly fill up and send it back, and you will be receiving the certificates. So as it is a technically mandatory that only 100 certificates will be generated on a day basis, which will be sent to your email, and it will take a week or so as to reach everyone the certificates, those who have filled the feedback. Thank you very much, Jyoti madam, for your excellent presentation. Okay,
thank you, sir.
For your support. Thank you very much. Our college owes a lot to you.